Hello everyone. Today I'd like to share something that gives me hope. There really is hope in this country after all. Welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katlego. Please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
And I am someone who has been part of the EFF. I was part of the EFF for some time, and I was so sure that's who I'm going to vote for, but it's becoming more and more apparent that no, they do not deserve my vote. And today that is what we are going to talk about, why I left the EFF.
Isn't that beautiful to see? Her name is Dineo Thuli and she is free. Thank God she is free. She is a free thinker and cannot be held back. Free thinkers always break free. She clearly outlined some of the reasons why a logical person should think twice before voting for the EFF. Let me not waste time and get into some of her issues. Check this out.
Number one, Naledi pushing for the legalization of prostitution. I tried to overlook it and say, you know what, maybe it's just one of those things that I will get over, and I haven't been able to get over it. I don't think there's any woman who's doing prostitution because they want to, and they would be happy that Naledi wants to legalize it and all of that, and it's just a good option. They are happy to be doing that. No, people are doing that because they're desperate. Instead of you focusing on giving these people jobs, dignified jobs, you are going to focus on legalizing the most dehumanizing thing that they can do for money. That is disrespectful. It comes from a point of privilege and not understanding the matter. No one wants prostitution to be given rights and legalized. No one wants that. Those women want jobs, proper jobs. That's not something that should ever be promoted. That is not something that we should have pride in as a country. If anything, yes, those women deserve respect. Yes, that one we can all agree in. Most of them are just, like I said, trying to make a living for their families. But if there was an alternative, I'm sure that they would rather do something else than that.
She's not lying. The EFF wants prostitution to be treated as if it's a profession. They want it legalized and they even consider it as an expertise.
It's not all sex workers that are being oppressed. It's not all sex workers that are being chased down the streets by the police. It's the downtrodden, it's the marginalized black women, queer women, trans women, lesbian women who are in the field and the expertise of sex work. And lastly, we must continue to advocate for decriminalization of sex work.
I don't need to add anything. Once you consider prostitution as a profession, as an acceptable job, would it come as a surprise if some of the millions of jobs that you as the EFF plan on creating include prostitution? I mean, the way you brought that young woman in black to promote sexual entertainment at your rally lines up with you seeing nothing wrong with paying women for sexual pleasure, right? When the EFF says it will create millions of jobs, are these not the jobs that it will create? Professional sex workers with expertise in sex work. I mean, really, who really wants to be a prostitute? Like Dineo said, the EFF elite are disrespectful, and it shows that they come from a place of privilege. Malema and the leaders of the EFF are busy making millions in salaries from our taxes, hence they have no clue what makes a person force themselves to go into prostitution. Next point, please.
Them pushing to increase grants. There are so many people who are having very irresponsible sexual behaviors, and you are saying to these people, continue. Instead of us giving you jobs to provide for those kids, we are going to increase the money that you already do not deserve, because there are a lot of people who I feel like they don't deserve this money. There are plenty of ways to prevent these things from happening, unwanted pregnancies that you cannot afford. There are so many ways of preventing these things. Some of those ways are provided to you by the government for free, and these people choose not to do that. They choose to have kids rather, and the EFF is saying continue that behavior, continue being sexually ill-disciplined, and we are going to give you more money than you already have been given. That is not good at all, and it really is one of those things I should have never even looked past. A government that is willing to reward people for bad behavior it doesn't seem ideal to me. Of course, there are people who are cheering behind this, a bunch of lazy people who who agree with this and happy for it, and be like, yes, it's good, instead of wanting jobs and valuable things to contribute to the society for. That money could be used for more things. We have potholes that are causing accidents and deaths all across the country, and you are going to decide to spend all of this money on people who do not know when to stop. There really isn't any reason to reward people who are having kids in situations that they know they shouldn't be having kids in. Why would you continue to have 2-3 kids that you cannot afford? We are going to have to be radical and harsh and honest about some of these things. You do not deserve to be given money for having another kid in a situation that you have no business having a child in. Imagine with Malema trying to increase the child grant to 1,200, how many people will now be joining this job opportunity, because that's exactly what it's going to be at this point. 1.2 easy for having a child. Why not use that money to give these people jobs?
Grants will be the other kinds of jobs that will be introduced by the EFF, like this young intelligent girl noticed. These grants are going to be as good as jobs. Why would lazy people think of any kind of job when they can easily make babies and get a pay slip from SASSA? Do you want an increase? Easy, make another baby. You get double the salary. Imagine, in a country where condoms and family planning methods are free, in a country where STDs and HIV are a problem, EFF thinks it's wise to make such suggestions. Thank God our youth have brains to see beyond the excitement. It's great to see that our youth can think, guys. The problem is that parties like the DA and Action SA have not been prioritizing reaching out and talking to people, especially young people. Our universities are being terrorized and taken over by parties like the EFF and the ANC. The EFF is the only one that seems to have a stronghold on the universities. Maybe it should be illegal to allow politics on campus. Otherwise, if that cannot be achieved, then all the other parties must start becoming active on university grounds. Our youth are being radicalized by the ANC and the EFF, who catch them when they are still young and not well informed.
The last one is the most popular one. I started with hating it, and then I was like, okay, maybe I understand it, and stood behind it, and now I'm back to where I started, where I'm like, you know what, this won't work. In the long term, it does sound good, all African, not good exactly, but it does sound like it could work. All the African countries giving up their independence and becoming this one big country, and the borders are down, and all the African countries, which are now one country, are now working towards one economy, and we helping each other to become a good developed place, and there's enough jobs for everyone, and it sounds really cool, but it's unattainable. Even if it was to be attainable, it would take years, and for now we really need a solution. For now, South Africa is burning, and we need that urgency to come back to South Africa, not trying to save the rest of the continent. There is no way that all these different countries would give up their independence. There's no way to convince all these people. That would take so long, and by that time South Africa would be under, because like I said, South Africa is burning as it is right now, and there is no way your house is going to be going through its own issues, and you as the head of the house, you are going to like, you know what, I can see we are starving, I can see we don't have enough resources, but the rest of the people in the community are also struggling, so let us make room for them, and they must come in. Like, already we hardly have enough to survive ourselves. We are going through it. Why are you worried about other people?
Julius says, Africa, we are one. He says there were no borders in Africa. When people vote for Malema, they should understand that prostitutes from all kinds of African countries will also flock to South Africa. There will be millions of them competing for these new job opportunities created by the EFF. And since Africa is one, grants will eventually be paid out to foreigners. Currently, we have been hearing of foreigners that illegally collect SASSA grants as it is. Under Julius, they will legally collect these grants.
Every single time I see content about the EFF, I just get to a point where I'm like, you know what, I can't overlook any of these things anymore.
Isn't that a smart person? Now, let's check out some of the comments, and by comments, I mean the EFF lunatics that don't want free thinkers. One says, you look and sound DA with that accent. Why are you confused who to vote for, lady? Oh, but of course, it wouldn't be a full-on comment section from the EFF without someone commenting on accents, right? Next comment, please. This is why podcasts are not for everyone. You are a lazy thinker and selective listener. What exactly makes her a lazy thinker? The fact that she paused to consider if what she had been believing made sense. The fact that she thought for herself and came to her own well-thought-out opinion instead of simply believing what she has been told and going with the flow. Next comment, please. Okay, your face doesn't reflect your brains. Upila mahala, meaning you're beautiful for nothing. There we have it. No constructive counter-argument, just an insult. But that fits perfectly to the EFF comments we have come to know and feel sorry for, right? Another one says, if that's how you think, we are happy you're no longer part of the EFF. This one just needs attention. People are struggling out there and in need of that social grant money. How can you create jobs while people are hungry? Leaving EFF will not solve this country's problems, as you are like a needle in the Indian Ocean. Why don't you pay people 1,020 to sweep the many dirty streets instead of paying them that 1,020 to make babies? Why don't you pay them for doing something that adds value to their communities, that creates solutions to the problems South Africa is facing? The next one says, the fact that you didn't mention land expropriation, racial equality in the economy, state bank speaks volumes. In my opinion, you left the EFF for small, insignificant things. I think you come from a place of privilege. You are very comfortable where you are, but never forget that there are many Black people who are uncomfortable as we speak. She made it clear that there are certain things that she liked about the EFF. And how are these three that made her leave insignificant things? Please give us proof that you were in EFF. Someone says she doesn't need to prove anything. Another says, if you're happy where you are, why keep your ex's love letters? I love these two responses to the first comment. Another asks, why now? Is there a time when one should start being a free thinker? And isn't now the best time to be thinking carefully about our vote? Didn't we say 2024 is our 1994? So if not now, then when? Okusalayo sivotela EFF, meaning in any case we will vote EFF. So you're not going to have a moment, put your phone away and consider if maybe, just maybe, she is onto something. If maybe you should consider doing what she did. You're just going to say, Okusalayo, we are voting. The next one says, she's looking for endorsement, this one. Clout chaser. Endorsement for what? From who? They even call her lazy, which led her to respond to this comment saying that is another reason why she left the EFF, because of all the anger and the insults. I need us to grow the number of people who speak up for this country. Please do me a favor and go to her channel, Just Dineo, linked below. Like her video and leave a comment and tell her to keep going in that direction. I really appreciate you guys. Remember, we are a team here. Let's grow our team. The more people we have fighting for the cause, the better. I see potential and I like it. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. Until next time, beware of the comrades.